What's up guys, Mano here. Welcome back to the shop. I have been working on my friend's 2014 Harley-Davidson Sportster 48, turning it from somewhat stock looking into something a lot cooler. The goal is to turn it into the Sportster you see on Instagram, hence the Instagram Sportster build. Or in Google search when you type the words Harley Sportster Modified. Try it out and see what you can find. I tell you, the results will look a lot like this. In this video, I want to share with you my first time experience working on a Harley-Davidson, particularly this Sportster 48, the challenges I had, and the things I did and why this Sportster is an awesome bike to have. Stick around because this might help you. Okay, so quick go through of the bike. This is the discontinued Sportster with the legendary Evolution engine. This particular bike is a 2014 Sportster 48 powered by a 1200cc air-cooled V-twin motor, 5-speed transmission, super old school styling with a spoke 16-inch wheels rolling on super chubby tires. 7-liter gas tank, perfect for shorter riders due to its low seat height, and it oozes character even from a standstill. I talked about how this bike feels like in the previous video, so go check it out after this one. Now, I'll be very honest with you guys, this was the first time I've ever worked on a Harley Sportster, and I'm not formally trained to do any mechanical work on this bike. In fact, I do not consider myself a mechanic either. Riding the bike is one thing, but to actually do something is a different experience. I do have a basic understanding of how things work, and I'm pretty handy with tools to a certain degree. Also, I know for a fact that my channel is mostly supermoto content, but the Harley Sportster is something that I am a big fan of. Now at first, I was skeptical if I could handle the job, but as soon as we started taking down all the tins and other components, the easier it looked and its overall design is super basic. Removing the bodywork is super easy. The only thing I disliked about the process is the fact that I had to buy SAE tools to do the job. Most of the tools that I have in the shop are metric. Anyway, once I had the gas tank, fenders, and other parts removed, I had to send them off to the painters. Some parts had to be sent to the powder coater as well, like the fork outer tubes, fork brace, exhaust shield, and other small pieces. Next was to install a new handlebar and gauge relocation kit. We went with this zero drag handlebar setup that cost a ridiculous amount. The gauge relocation kit was easy to work on and surprisingly well built for the price. I bought this at a reasonable price considering that it's made out of solid aluminum. Now the most challenging part for me was the wire tuck mod. Anything that has to do with electricals scares me. But in the case of the Sportster, I really appreciate how well arranged all the wires and connectors are. They're easy to trace and require no special memorization skills at all. After arranging all the wires and placing them on top of the frame, it was just a matter of putting the connectors back. Next was the tank lift mod. Now this is a very popular mod among the Sportster crowd. If you're going to do the wire tuck mod, then you have to do the tank lift mod as well. This has two purposes. One is to accommodate all the wires we just tucked in under the gas tank, and number two is to give the Sportster a clean, airy look. For this, I had to fabricate two brackets measuring 1.5 inches to lift the gas tank on the front bracket. Next is the ignition coil relocation kit. Now it is a super easy install. All you need is this bracket and bolt it onto these two bolts on the cylinder heads. Other mods we did was change the stock headlight to this LED unit, the headlight grille, the mini turn signals, and derby covers. Now another challenge I had to deal with was the forks. One of the seals was broken and needed a new one. It's a good thing that this is a pretty standard size fork and looking for a set of seals is super easy. The local Harley dealership here in the island of Cebu does have replacement oil seals and O-rings, but in my case I went to a store that specializes in this sort of item and got all the right parts for the fraction of what Harley sells them for. Now, putting the forks together is a task I am not familiar with, so I enlisted the help of a specialist for this. Prior to ordering these parts, I failed to consider that this model of the Sportster is equipped with a 39mm fork tube. Parts I ordered were for a 49mm tube, so, big mistake on my part. But sending this part was going to take up most of my time, so I had to get crafty. To make these parts fit perfectly, I used PVC pipes as a sleeve to put in between the fork tubes and the fork shields. Same goes for the fork boots. It was just a matter of massaging the PVC pipes to fit the forks securely. Another example of how hard it is to work on bikes like these is finding the right size tires. If you don't know where to look for, then you're screwed. Now it just so happens I am a tire dealer, and getting this Pirelli Night Dragon 130/90/16 was just a phone call away to my suppliers. Getting this tire, however, took 1 week due to logistics. Lastly, changing the transmission and engine oil of this bike was a new experience for me. Now, it wasn't hard to do at all, but it certainly was weird having to deal with 2 drain plugs. I made sure I used the correct oil filter and the oil, of course, for this job. By the way, if you happen to be here where I'm from and looking for lubricants, I have a ton in stock available. Now, my overall experience with the Sportster has been very good and very educational as well. In conclusion, the Sportster is a fun bike to ride around, easy to manage in traffic, and it's surprisingly easy to maintain and set up to your liking, even for amateurs like me. And the sheer number of online resources for parts and technical info makes it a lot easier also. So if you are contemplating on getting a Harley Sportster for your enjoyment, I hope this video cleared a few questions you have in mind. Sadly, this version of the Sportster is no longer sold, brand new, but there are a lot of these out there in the used market. Get one as soon as possible since these bikes are getting higher in resale value. And I know a lot of people out there would say, oh, the Sportster is a girl's bike. Tell you what, don't mind them, because the people who say that are people with short dicks. That's all I have for you today. What can you say about the Sportster that we just worked on? Leave a comment below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel if you found this video helpful. And as always, see you next time. Bye.